So, good morning again, everyone. So, today we will start the second unit of environmental impact assessment. And the second unit states about the impact of developmental activities and their land use. Okay, so here the first we will have a brief introduction to the topic. So here, so almost all of us know that every type of action or any project can have certain changes in the surroundings of that land. Okay, and some actions and projects. So these, so whatever projects or developmental activities we carry out, they have certain direct and certain indirect impact on the environment, and it also has certain effects or impact on the soil and the groundwater characteristics at that point. So what the developmental activity can do, that developmental activity does possess a characteristics to alter the physical properties of the soil and groundwater, which is going to affect the people, the flora, fauna, vegetation, whatever is lying in that area, that is going to be disturbed. Okay, so they say that the soil and groundwater characteristics may be altered by physical disturbances like addition and removal of soil, compaction of soil, changes in water hydrology, and the most common one is the change in the climate of that area. Okay, so you might have observed that in Delhi, basically, yeah, people are saying the air quality index has decreased in such a manner that in the morning there is always fog. So why that fog is happening? It is happening due to that pollution. So the air quality index at Delhi is pathetic. Okay, those who are, let's say, so in comparison to Delhi, the air quality index of Madanpalli area, or if you take the Chittor district, or if you take Andhra as a whole also, the air quality index of Andhra Pradesh is far better than in comparison to that of the Delhi or NCR. What is the full form of NCR? They say Delhi NCR. What is the full form of Delhi NCR or NCR they call it? Anyone? You might have heard in news that in Delhi NCR this incident happened. In Delhi NCR, Kejriwal did like this. Or in the Delhi NCR, Kejriwal government is taking necessary steps. It is also promoting electric vehicles in comparison to the normal fossil fuel vehicles and all. So what is this Delhi NCR? NCR or NCR? So NCR stands for National Capital Region. Okay. So they call Delhi NCR. So it is National Capital Region for your kind of information. Okay. So let's come back to the where we stopped. So next, let us discuss some of the direct impact due to the nature of action. Okay, let us consider some examples. So here I have shortlisted some examples. The first one is a highway project. The second one is a dam construction site. The third one is a regional park. And the fourth one is a city block for low income housing structures. Okay, so let us take the first example. So if you see here, so a highway, let's say a highway project is going to have with a 300-meter right-of-way width that converts whatever the land use, existing land use is to a transportation land use within the right way of width. So what does this mean? So this means that if, suppose, if like all of you have been to Madanpalli and from Angalu to Madanpalli. Okay, let us say the government decides that okay, no, this stretch of national highway which is extending, for example, which is extending till Kadapa, there that it's to be widened. Okay, from Madanpalli to Kadapa, whatever highway is there, that needs to be extended. Okay, or this entire stretch between Madanpalli to Angalu. Let's take a small one. Madanpalli to Angalu, that is a single road, so that needs to be, suppose it needs to be extended. Then what will be there? So whatever whatever land is there just beside that road, that needs to be immediately cleared off. Okay, if any people are there, if any inhabitants are there, okay, if any kind of forest area is also there, that needs to be cleared off, and the same land will be converted in the form of a highway project. Okay, so if we do that, so we are definitely changing the land use criteria for that particular area. Next, come to the second example. Let us consider the case of a dam. Okay, so even a dam is constructed, so a large part of dam. Okay, let us say here we have a river. Okay, and uh, within some areas, okay, within some areas, suppose the government decided that yes, here at this site we will construct a dam. Okay, so if a dam is to be constructed, then suppose a hydel power plant is supposed to be planned, and that hydel power plant is to be constructed over a dam, and that, so if we are giving, or if we are making a dam on a river, okay, the first thing is this area needs to be large enough so that the water which is coming in this area, or which is coming in this river, it's to be collected. Okay, so previously this land was used for some other purpose. Maybe there is a forest area, or there may be some people or village in this area. Okay, so what needs to be done in order to construct a dam over here at the site? We need to remove the people who are staying in this area, or the forest life, whatever it is there in this area. This needs to be removed. This needs to be removed, and this needs to be made in the form of a reservoir. Okay, so dam is constructed to create a reservoir for water supply and recreational use, and directly it converts the previous land use to a recreational land use. Okay, so this will come under the direct impact due to the nature of action of the project. Next, a regional park. So for example, let us say a regional park is to be constructed on a land which was previously used as a pasture. Pasture means, what do you mean by a pasture? So now, or many people in the state of Andhra Pradesh, or even in the state of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they are into the business of dairy industry. Okay, dairy industry. What I mean by dairy industry is people are are having cattle or cows. Okay, cows or buffaloes, and they are extracting the milk from that one. So where those the cows and buffaloes, they will go and graze, they will have their food. Okay, so they used to go for a land which is not being occupied by anyone, and here grass and other trees will be there. Okay, so those will be called as a pasture. Okay, so let's say we want to construct a regional park. Okay, in a area which was previously used for pasture. Okay, so it directly changes that many number of acres of land into a park. So previously the land which was used for a pasture will be used for by the people in the form of a park. Okay, Let us take the fourth example. The fourth example is, let's say the government decided to construct houses for low income group people. Okay, so you might have about that Pradhan Mantri something. Yeah, so some house schemes are there. Okay, so let us say if the government plans to take certain land and it wants to construct the houses for the low income groups, so whatever structures is existing in that location already, that needs to be demolished. Whether if it is a forest area, that land is to be cleared. Okay, if some other structures are there in that area, that needs to be demolished. Okay, so like that, even for if the government plans for a shopping mall also, so whatever previous project is there in that land, that needs to be cleared and it needs to be converted for commercial purpose. Okay, so these are certain direct impacts on the environment of any place due to the nature of action of the developmental activity. Next one, in the next topic, we have the methodology for assessment of impacts on soil and groundwater. So basically, in this slide, you will have uh, a description about, or you will have certain knowledge about what is the methodology that is adopted for the assessment of impacts on soil and groundwater. Okay, the first step is it includes the delineation of study area. This is the first step. Second one is the identification of activities of the project which will have different impacts on the soil and or groundwater quantity. Okay, so please all of you pay attention because this can be asked as a long question. So so please pay attention. So next, in the third step, we need to prepare or a description of existing soil and or groundwater resource condition that needs to be done. Followed by, in the step 4, we will have the procurement of relevant soil or groundwater quantity or the quality standards of that particular area. In the fifth step, we have the prediction of impact prediction of for soil or groundwater environment. In the sixth step, we have the assessment of impact significance, and in the seventh one, we have the identification and incorporation of mitigation measures. Okay, so these are the 7 different steps. So these are very important steps which are used or which are the methodologies for the assessment of impacts on the groundwater and the soil of any particular area due to a developmental activity which is going to be conducted or which is getting executed at that particular location. So this about this delineation of study area. So all these points we will discuss in the coming slides. So now the first step. The first step is the delineation of study area. So here delineation of study area means like we should have a clear cut idea about the place where that developmental activity is going to take place. Okay, so it can be done with the help of a map. Okay, so the map which we will be using to do the delineation of the of the study area, that should be able to clearly distinguish between the developed and undeveloped or underdeveloped land in that particular area. And what should be shown on the map? In that map, Okay, let us say that this is the map of a particular area where we are going to set up any kind of industry. Okay, suppose this is a map. This is a rough figure. Don't take it in scale. So just for your understanding, I've shown this area. Let us say this is the area in which like we have or the government has proposed to set up or to allow a private party to set up any kind of industry. Okay, so let us say this is the map. Okay, so that map, it should be able to show us any residential areas in that location, any commercial area or industrial areas in that location, followed by any institutions or any parks for recreation are there, and some non-urban mixed structures or mixed communities are there that needs to be shown. Okay, so that map should able to show us about the details. Details means, okay, at this particular location this thing is there, at this particular location we have this one, at this particular location we have this one. Okay, so that map should able to, so it means that that map should able to give you an idea of the existing land use in that area. Okay, so the map could further include further divisions such as separate commercial and industrial activity centers and public vacant lands. So that map could also further include divisions such as separate commercial and industrial activities and public vacant labs should be there. Okay. Next, the categories to be used will depend largely on the type of project or the action that is being evaluated. Okay? And the characteristics of that local area, land area, and the geographic extent to which the area is being affected, that will be studied with the help of the delineation of the study area. Okay, and next one is based on the identification of activities which will have the direct, which will have the different types of impacts on soil and groundwater qualities. Okay, this one, the step 2. Okay, so step 1 we have covered. Now we are going to the second step. Okay, so in the second step we have is what? So we need to identify the activities which will have different types of impacts on the soil and the groundwater quantity or quality, you may call it. Okay, so the first one is landforms. So the natural features of earth like valley, mountains, they influence the local climate conditions. That needs to be checked. Next, second comes the soil profile of that area. So the sequence of layer in the soil that needs to be examined. Again, after that, the erosion effect. So what do you mean by erosion or soil erosion? What do you mean by soil erosion? Anyone? Anyone from the group of students? What do you mean by, what do you understand by soil erosion? What do you mean by soil erosion? Anyone? Soil erosion is the, if you call in simple way, it is the cutting of land. Okay, you might have seen that the areas which are nearer to sea or nearer to beach area. Okay, due to the tidal action, due to the rise in water level, also the beach area that gets eroded, means the land whatever is there, it is being washed away with the washed away due to the waves of water. Okay, so that is also a soil erosion. So the soil erosion, what it does, it affects the soil profiles, and which have the direct effects on the land use. And if we talk about the indirect effect on the water quality, we have that indirect effect on the land use on the downstream of that area. Okay, next we have the soil composition and compaction. Okay, so certain chemicals and mineral compositions which influence the engineering and agricultural capacity of that particular area will be definitely hampered or impacted due to certain kind of developmental activity.
Sir,
Okay,
hello. Sir,
yes,
timetable has been changed, sir.
timetable, how the timetable has changed? No,
Sir, we don't have classes today, sir. From Monday and Tuesday only, sir, we have classes.
no, till Wednesday classes are there, right?
No, sir, we have only from only to Monday and Tuesday, sir. We came timetable on Sunday, sir. Yesterday or Monday.